Hello everyone. We are going to be walking in Lower Manhattan today. We're going to be getting over to Worth Street. And then we'll make our way on to Varick with a little stop over by the Ghostbusters Headquarters. And we'll keep walking until, I don't know, we'll see where we stop. Right now I am on Bowery. And we're walking towards Worth Street. You know what? Let's walk down Pell. This is a street that we've passed a few times when we were doing our walks down here. And I figure we'll take you guys down this street. This is that very narrow street where you'll see a lot of the vehicles have to get up on the sidewalks. And there's always a lot of stuff going on the, from building to building with all these things hanging and stuff, all these ornaments. Got one of these little streets over here. Like a little private street. That is, by the way, that is Doyers Street that we just looked at. That was Doyers. We're still on Pell. So we're just warming up right now. This is just like a warm-up part of the walk before we get over to Worth Street, which is right around the corner here. This is Mott. We were on Mott a couple of weeks ago. So what I'll do is I will get up on the sunny side and we will walk with the sun in front of us. Today is a really nice day. 55 degrees. I mean, you will notice people are bundled up and stuff. Those are people that are, I guess they can't handle the temperature or whatever. But this is a type of day where you definitely do not need winter gear. I am wearing a very light spring jacket, so definitely not bundled up. Guy stepped right in front of me. That'll happen a lot in New York City. People stopping in front of you, getting in your way. So we made our way back into Manhattan. And we will be making our way onto Worth Street and out of the sun. Well, we'll be in the sun, but it won't be in our face. Now Worth Street, this is Worth Street right here. A very interesting street. You'll see a lot of these police with the canines. We are in the area where all of the court buildings are. This right here to my left is Chatham Towers. So yeah, down here on my left side is all the court buildings. District Court, Supreme Court, County Clerk. This is where people come down to get married. So this first part of the walk, we're going to be seeing a lot of the court buildings on either side. We'll eventually make our way onto Varick, probably around, I'm thinking maybe over by West Broadway we'll turn. This is a courthouse right here. These are all the court buildings. This right here is the Lefkowitz State Office Building to my right. Yeah, here's a good view right here. A nice downtown sky view right here. The tree, you got the World Trade One.
I did so much.
This right here on my right, not on my right, on my left, this park over here, they call it the Wedding Garden. This is where everybody gets married. Got the County Clerk's office down here. It's where you get your legal marriage certificate. See the Supreme Court buildings down here. All the court buildings are down here, right in this one spot. Yeah, so today is Wednesday, the 26th of February. We're a couple of days away from closing out the last month of winter, the last full month of winter. We're going to be moving into spring. Today definitely feels like a spring day. It definitely feels like March. Got a bit of a breeze coming in. I knew there was going to be a stiff breeze, so I threw the wireless mic on today. I was going to let him go, and then he let me go, so here we go. You see all the security barriers down here. They don't mess around down here. This right here is Broadway. There goes Sophie's. I've had a Cuban sandwich or two in this one, in this spot. Alright, this is a little crazy over here trying to cross. I can smell it too. My God, it smells so good. You can smell the food cooking in Sophie's. Well, this right here, this is the what's known as the Long Lines Building, the AT&T Long Lines Building. Let's see if I can get across the street, get a better view without getting hit by a car here, because this is a little tricky to cross. It's a very interesting looking building. Houses a lot of equipment. This is a building that a lot of people say is a NSA Surveillance Hub. Like I said, there's no windows on this building. The only windows you'll find on this building are at the entrance of the building, where the doors are. I tell you, once we got in that shade, man, that temperature dropped. It's like two different seasons. This right here is Church Street. I'll give you guys one more look while we're waiting for the light. Very interesting building. It looks like a rocket ship, really. It looks like a spaceship that just landed over here. All right. So we are now waiting across Church. We're gonna wrap up the Worth Street part of the walk. I don't know what this guy's doing. What are you doing, guy? I think he thought he was going to do a U-turn or something. Like, this is a one-way street. You get some nutty people driving in the city sometimes. I don't know where he was going. But I was just looking at him, so I wasn't looking at the whole situation. Maybe he was moving out of the way of the truck behind him. I don't know. But we are going to turn shortly onto Varick Street, and then when we get to Varick, we will walk down until it ends over by 7th Avenue South. And I said earlier, we will make a stop at the Ghostbusters Headquarters, Ladder 8. Alright, we are on West Broadway, and we're going to walk over to Varick now. It's a little tricky down here. Even I get turned around, so I'm just keeping an eye out so I don't pass it. You got a few streets that kind of fan together over here, so... Maybe I should do my cross now. Well, everything is stuck right now down here, so. I'm gonna try it. Let's see what happens here. So this is Varick right here. We'll stay on this side because this is the side of where the firehouse is. We're almost there. This will be one of our shorter walks, I would imagine. I mean, because Varick doesn't go too far. This right here is the train station here on Franklin Street. This is a station for the numbered lines. Actually, only one line, and that is the one line, the number 1.
Keep me updated on your life.
Got a lot of nice architecture down here. A lot of old water tanks on the roofs.
Yeah. Is it just because, like, her in general, or is it because
So as you can tell from all the people over there, that is because they are taking pictures of the firehouse. So this is the Ghostbusters Firehouse right here. We are on the side of it. We'll get a look across the street. I'm not going to stay over here and do it. I do want to bring up this street sign here. So while everybody is looking at the Ghostbusters house, so this is the street sign here is named after Lieutenant Halloran, Vincent G. Halloran. So he passed away on 9/11. He was one of the many firefighters and first responders that responded to the towers and passed away on that day. And he left behind a big family, 5 children, a wife, and she was pregnant with their 6th child. So I wanted to give an honorable mention of that because that, you know, a lot of people come here, they don't know that. What I'll do is I will walk backwards and give you guys a look. All right, we did enough. So who are you gonna call? That's who you're gonna call right there. So we continue on to Varick Street. This is a very busy stretch of road. Yeah, it looks like I'm stuck. So anyway, I hope everyone's doing well today. It is I said this earlier, a very nice day here in the city. 55, feels like spring. Light's about to change. Someday we'll get across the street because we have to wait for these cars to get through the queue before I can walk. And this person's going to jump right in the crosswalk. Watch. I'm going to stay right in the crosswalk. Looks like you got Amazon right next to me here. Now I'll be honest, this intersection coming up is quite dangerous. If you try to cross against a light, I'm gonna kind of speed it up here. I want to get across. This is one of those streets that nobody ever talks about. Late Street, not L-A-T-E, but L-A-I-G-H-T. I guess that's how you pronounce it. Late, a light. Who knows? We are making our way to the end of Varick Street. So we're walking we're basically walking a complete distance. Varick is not a long street, so when we got on Varick, that was where it started. We are right now crossing Canal Street, but we will eventually end this walk over by 7th Avenue, where 7th Avenue begins. And this is where Grand and Canal meet up. So if you're ever on Grand Street, you know, further down, over by Christie, there's a few blocks you gotta walk to get to Canal, but they're angled streets, so they eventually meet up here. This is where Grand Street ends. This right here, so. Sometimes you'll get people telling you, yeah, Grand Street is a block away from Canal. Well, it depends on what ends of Canal and Grand you're on. Look, everyone, it's scaffolding. My favorite thing to walk under. This right here is a Watt Street, and this is where you can get into the Holland Tunnel. So take you over to New Jersey. So you can imagine this is a busy intersection too, as well. It's actually easy to cross, because once the queue is cleared, then you can get right across even with the light being red. The only people using that street is pretty much to go down the tunnel.
Okay, all right. I can look again and book the reservation. Is it just me and you, or is Kathy coming?
This right here is Broome Street. Looks like you got a news van right here. It's looks like a freelance news van. There's no marking on it. You got these two really big buildings and then the really small one in the middle. The building's been there since 1810, according to the cement lettering on the top. You'll get a lot of street reflections down here because of all the tall buildings, and you get a lot of the windows from these tall buildings that are reflecting right back down on the sidewalk. So you get a lot of this like crazy lighting all over the place, shading and light. It'll give you a lot of interesting looks of you know, different shades of light when you're doing photography down here in the street. So where did we start? We started on Bowery. I know I'm naming the walk is Worth and Varick because that was the majority of the walk, but we did start on Bowery, turned down some of the small streets. Now we're approaching the end of this walk eventually. This is Spring Street right here. We are going to end somewhere around, I would say, you know, where 7th Avenue begins right around Carmine Street, I believe. If you look up there, well, it's hard because of the exposure. It's too bright, so forget it. I'm not even going to tell you. But up there, where all that white light is, that's where we're ending it. Because you can actually see 7th Avenue cutting across. Is there somebody in this box? I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised if someone is in that box. I've seen crazier things, so I'm not surprised if that's the case. There was that guy years ago. I don't know if you ever heard about it. There was a guy years ago that was living in the bridge, like in one of the girders of the Manhattan Bridge. He was on the bike side, right over the bike path of the Manhattan Bridge. You know, we walked over the Manhattan Bridge. There is a walk side and a bike side. He was on the bike side right towards, you know, close to the end where the lane ends. And he had himself in this little, I mean, it seemed like it was like a 5x4 little square space. And he was in there for years and nobody knew about it until somebody did a story about it. That's how it always happens, right? They did a story about it and they cleared him out like the next day after it was all in the news. You get some really good acoustics down here with first responder sirens. This is the Euston Street Station for the number 1 train. The 1 is a local train. It's probably one of the slowest trains you'll ever take in your life. It's equivalent to me. It's the equivalent of taking like the R train. If you ever take the R train, you know what I'm talking about. The R train will stop at every stop. We got Chopped over here. I knew a guy once, years ago. He would come back with food. Where'd you get that? That looks good. I went to Chopped Tea. Chopped Tea? What the hell is Chopped Tea? I used to say. Well, that's how they spell it. I looked at him, I said, are you sure it's chopped tea and not chopped? Well, speaking of misspellings, this is West Houston Street, and yes, I know people tell me it's Houston or Houston or whatever. That's the way I'm gonna say it, so I don't care. I'm from Brooklyn, man. I gotta stay faithful to my Brooklyn accent. All right, so as you can tell, you see that street there, the way that street kind of cuts in front of us. That is 7th Avenue South, or North, or whatever the hell they call it. It's basically 7th Avenue. Which means we're going to be ending a walk here. So I want to thank everybody for tagging along. This was an interesting walk. We got to walk through all the big court buildings. We stopped at the Ghostbusters Headquarters, Ladder 8. We walked some of the small little alley streets in Lower Manhattan that we've been passing for the last month when we were doing those other walks. And today we decided to just do Worth, Varick, and we're ending it right here. Good place to get food. You got Taco Bell on my right and Shake Shack on my left. And this right here, I was right, Carmine Street. And this is where Varick ends, right here, and it turns into 7th Avenue. So I want to thank everybody for tagging along, and stay tuned as we do more walks. And I will catch you all on the next one. Take care, and bye-bye.